Hey, it's us once again. We're here for another Iyanla Fix My Life episode. This episode it is with Trina from the Braxtons. Trina Braxton. We know her as one of the sisters. Oh, Lord, Jesus. She's one of the Braxton sisters, goddammit. What's Tony Braxton? Oh, that's the famous one out of the group, you know, and Tamar, you know, and then you got the other three sisters. They had, you know, their own show, and so that's how we know Trina, you know, unless you a diehard fan and know, you know, the Braxtons, you know. To know Trina, that's the only way you'll know.
I've seen maybe like one or two episodes of the Braxton family.
Yeah,
and I was trying to ask you during the show to explain why she talking like that. Like every 15th word.
I told her either she from Canada or she from Baltimore.
Did she date somebody maybe from Canada?
I don't know. I think it's just the accent she made up. No, the daddy ain't Canadian. Not at all. They American. I think she just chose this accent.
Does she spend every summer in Canada?
I doubt it.
So she just does that.
She just does that.
Okay.
You know, with a I don't know.
You know,
I can't even.
She takes it to somebody's house. You know, just weird. Like
because none of the other.
It seems so random, and it's like you kind of look at the TV like what? Like what?
I'm confused.
Is she not used to that word or something like that? It was weird. But yeah, Trina and Gabe.
They're on Iyanla. They're divorced.
Say that.
They are divorced.
And they've been divorced for 2 years.
Yeah, it's been it seems like it's enough time to
move on,
to be away or move on. Not for us to be Iyanla fix our life after we've been divorced for 2 years.
2 years. Me coming into it, I'm like, okay. They've been divorced for 2 years, so I'm already questioning. Like, okay, so why are we here?
Why are we here?
And then they mentioned some kids. I said, okay, so they want their kids, to
that's
have a better relationship.
It has to do something.
You told me they ain't even his kids, so I'm confused.
Why are we here?
Like because if your relationship between each other isn't really up to par or whatever, y'all divorced. And these ain't y'all kids together, so y'all don't necessarily have to have a relationship. You can move on, and everything's cool. So why are we like? It was confusing to me.
They haven't moved on, might be.
They haven't moved on.
They stayed in the same frame.
I started to believe that one or the other is still holding on to this relationship. Like they still, if the opportunity presented itself, they would want to be back together.
I think they tag team because it seemed like neither one. If somebody wanted, I didn't see that either one wanted to be done with the relationship. I didn't see it like, well, I don't want anything done with this person, him or she or her.
Neither one
fed up to where I don't want to be involved with this person. Usually, when divorce, that means separated forever.
And they didn't really spend too much
That's what my interpretation.
We can both go our separate ways.
Yeah.
They didn't really, I guess, spend too much time on the divorce or the reason for the divorce. But I think you mentioned like infidelity, or maybe it was mentioned on the show.
I seen a couple of when Braxton the
Braxton Family Values.
That's the show, but reality show.
Okay.
Was on. I watched I think it was the first season. It just intrigued me.
They've been having issues since the first season. Man,
I haven't seen past like the first or second season, but they've had problems.
Okay.
I know they had problems with their daddy, and their mama being divorced, and and how they felt about their father. And I guess he cheated on the mother. That's what I'm gathering from what I saw.
Okay.
And he left the mother and whatnot, and then it goes from there, and we see the backlash of everything and how dysfunctional, Tony Braxton's
how was Trina
is.
and Gabe's relationship on the show that you recall?
It was always from what I saw, I think they were together when the show first started. But you can tell, it was some strain on the relationship. Okay. And, I think it's some, infidelity on both ways, played a part.
Really?
Yeah.
She was cheating too.
But I think it was a reaction to what he was doing.
Right on.
From what I gather. I don't, I'm not in their lives, so I don't know exactly.
And then you didn't keep up with the show.
From what they showed us, it was like he was the person that was, doing the extra, being with somebody else, the infidelity.
Okay.
And so, then that's where that's where it began.
They only divorced 2 years.
They divorced for 2 years. Only Iyanla. And so she was like, she started off. I'm leery
of even having
on the show because y'all, somewhat celebrity. Mm-hmm. Plus, you've been on a reality show, so it's gonna be embellished. I don't know if you're doing this for your actual healing or you just doing it for another PR stunt.
Yeah. Because you know what? To be honest, I think Iyanla this could have been the second episode versus going into the Mitchell brothers or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's convenient. Didn't the new season of Braxton Family Values just start? So it seemed like the timing might be. So I can understand her reservation with having them on the show because this might be a ploy to bring attention to your show, and get some extra viewers or whatever. But they did have issues though. We can't deny they did have issues.
But on network, it's TV, so I'm pretty sure they know what's up. Mm-hmm. And so they doing their shit. I'm pretty sure they taped it and kept it on the back burner until whenever the time they wanted to. Mm-hmm. And they could have did it, when Braxton Family is doing their thing, or who knows.
Anyway, back to Iyanla.
So Iyanla, of course, says, why are you here? And Trina says, I always go first. So they already put me in my but y'all been in this seat already. Mm. I always go first. You go.
Maybe they've been in therapy sessions or something like that.
They it's nothing new to them on explaining their problems to whoever.
Right.
And she's like, well, you need to go first. And that's where I leave it to you, might be. Because I have no clue as to why he started talking about, we start going into the sun and whatnot. But I don't know his really
we're here for better communication with each other. I guess they're friendly with each other.
Yeah.
But to me, if this is somebody you divorced with, this is why I think you tuned out. Because y'all divorced for 2 years. And you here talking about we need better communication. Why? It didn't make sense.
That's what I said. It must be the kids.
The kids. And so he did bring up, the younger son, Caleb, and how I guess they don't really have a relationship anymore. Caleb don't really talk to him anymore. He mentioned the nose surgery situation. And how he had nose surgery, needed somebody to tend to him for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. He went to Trina because, that's who he comfortable with. Maybe the only person he knows in the city. Right. Stayed with her for 3 or 4 days so she can mother him and nurse him back to health. And then after that, he moved into her, I guess she got the house in the back.
The guest house.
The guest house.
That's what they call it.
The guest house.
That's when you got money.
He moved in the guest house for a month. And they didn't say nothing, to the younger son.
Yeah, he was
about him being there.
We talked. Yeah, the son came in and talked to Iyanla. He was like, "I didn't know nothing.
I didn't know anything about it.
I have nothing of the sort. I heard nothing of the sort." So she was like, "So you haven't heard nothing? What's the problem?" But we go back, to what they was talking about. The ex-husband Gabe had that surgery. And he said, I feel like I need to be taken care of. Mm-hmm. And so I guess he stayed in the house for a couple of days, and like you said, then moved into the guest house. Mm-hmm.
And he was only there for a month, and then moved to his own place or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you were so comfortable coming back to your ex, I feel like they definitely have a relationship. Somebody's still holding on to something to where that's even an option. Because if this is your ex, and I think Trina even said the reason she divorced him was because he was out here doing crazy stuff and embarrassing her. So she, filled the divorce papers out before he could do the next thing to embarrass her. So she probably really wasn't ready to give up on the relationship. And now, since they're divorced, their relationship really isn't in the spotlight. They can do their little thing in the background.
Do you think she was just trying to save face or just keep whatever they had under the radar?
That's what it sounded like to me. with me not really like watching the Braxton family and just going off of this conversation, on the episode. That's what it sounded like. Because otherwise, like, what woman would put up with that? Would want to put up with that?
And that's what I don't understand. Like why she put up. This is an ex-husband that obviously did, I guess, some infidelity things. That, and that's what I know just from watching the Braxton family values. Mm-hmm. What's this relationship? I think he's treating it like a friends with benefits type deal now.
Maybe that's what it should have been from the beginning, but
I think Iyanla said. She said you want a wife, but you don't want to be a husband. Mm. So I guess he felt some type of control over. Like you supposed to be the wife and whatnot, and let me do what I want to do. I want my cake and eat it too. Also,
I feel like any man, if he can get away with it, it's gonna be like So you gonna stay at home and do everything, and be the wife and be faithful or whatever, and I can do anything.
And Iyanla, that was her thing. That was her thing for the whole process, like boundaries.
Yeah.
You got to have boundaries,
which clearly they didn't have.
That's you got your ex-husband living, in a guest house, and and you don't tell your son. And this is a man,
and it's like you're really trying to keep it away from him because you don't want to start nothing. So Trina knew how her son felt about Gabe.
Yes.
And the fact that you keeping it, y'all trying to, keep it on the low or whatever.
And why would you keep this is a man that's been with his two sons.
Yeah.
Eric, who I guess he's around 22. And what's the youngest? Caleb is around 19.
Yeah.
And so, it was the youngest one had some type of problem with the father. And she was like, you've been with the young man since he was 2. So you basically
raised him.
Him, and he came in. Iyanla, she sat down with Trina and Caleb. I mean, Gabe. That's his name. Gabe.
Yeah, the ex-husband. Yes.
Yeah, and she was like, what's going on? He said, I felt like that was the blood father's part to be a part of his life. And I give him, I guess, any manly instruction.
Yeah,
to me, it felt like I'm just married to the mama, and that's it.
A lot of guys feel that way, but that conversation came after she talked to Caleb. But when they were first talking, Iyanla asked Gabe, like, okay, what did you teach him about being a man? What did you teach him about being in a relationship? He's like, I don't think I taught him anything. I ain't teach him anything. And so with that response, though, it made sense that Caleb will feel some type of way when she had a conversation with him. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for Caleb on this show, I feel like we would be here maybe 2 minutes.
He was a G
and then be done
show.
with it. Like he made the show entertaining to me. But
so are we
moving on?
We're moving on to Caleb.
We're gonna come back to the conversation that Iyanla had with Gabe later on. But
she was talking to Caleb and the older brother
Eric,
and she asked,
we almost don't even need to mention Eric.
Eric was there for support.
He was there in spirit.
I'm just here so I don't be fine.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that's why he was there. Because she was like, so what's your relationship with Gabe? He was like, well,
because
I
think
I'm
older.
I think I'm old enough. We come to come together as gentlemen, and and do. He was a grown man about it. He probably had some problems or issues, but it wasn't derooted with him, with Gabe.
And he like between him and Caleb, Eric is like the cool one, probably let stuff slide or whatever. Yeah, maybe more understanding.
He ain't got time.
Caleb ain't got time. Caleb was like,
neither one guy got time, but Caleb got a problem.
Like a TIE,
but he got a problem. As far as toward his stepfather.
Yeah. Brother man said, I ain't like him since he came. He said he a jerk. Like, nothing's ever good enough. I mean, he was going in on Gabe. And even, as he's saying all this stuff, like I started to think like maybe, he didn't give him the attention that he wanted. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that he's here, I feel like there's something else underneath. Like, as he's explaining this, I feel like I started to feel that there was something else going on underneath. And Iyanla was like, well, can you think of another way to, describe what was going on besides him being a jerk? He's like, no. She said, would you like to? Brother,
give him a little.
He kicked that leg up.
Oh, pimp.
He was like,
My dude had the one finger up when she asked the question first.
He was into deep thought.
Yeah, and they said, "Dude, would you like to?" And then he kind of switched up
kicked
that
across the legs.
Nah.
Well, no, he was gonna think. He was gonna think. And she's like, you don't have to. He's like, oh, okay, well, no, I ain't thinking of nothing.
I ain't got time
Forget
for
that
this.
dude.
And she was like, why don't you like him? He's like, the way he treated my mama. Mm-hmm. She went through depression, and she used to tell us, like, I guess he said she was stress eating, and then she had some type of phobia, how other people think of her.
Well, he said something about her being like in her current relationship, like she may have been in a relationship with somebody else, but didn't feel like that guy could truly love her because of the way she looked. Yeah,
and then she would
tell that
to Caleb, and he was like, hey, that's just how we are, and she was like,
and I don't think parents realized that, If my mama came and told me that some shit like this was going on, you think I'm going to appreciate this dude? You think I'm going to give a damn about this dude? If anybody, like any female in my family, come and tell me that this dude is mistreating me or he's making you feel some type of way, you're depressed, you want to kill yourself,
and
whatever.
Her self-esteem is, she actually divulged this information, like my self-esteem is down because of this relationship, and I think, think of how I look is because of that,
But the thing is, like she may be more, like she's mature, she's older, of course. So she may be able to say stuff like that, think stuff like that, and then get over it. Yeah. But then you're saying this to a young-minded person,
what goes
and then you don't know, and not even really thinking about how it's going to affect him. And so you're wondering why he doesn't have a good relationship with Gabe, or he feels the type of way about Gabe when you're telling him all this shit about Gabe. And then he's on social media hearing all this shit about Gabe. Gabe was an asshole.
Yeah, Gabe was, yeah. And Iyanla was like,
yikes. He may have had his reasons for doing whatever he did in the relationship with Trina. Yeah, Trina. But still, when it came to dealing with the kids, the fact that he was always on the computer, and
it seemed like he just dismissed. But
yes,
he went he kept on the fact like this was his blood father's responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm married to the mother.
It's like, how could you, as a man, how could you be in a household with children? You married this woman, so you profess your love to her, but the kids, you got a daddy. That ain't
me.
That ain't my job.
That ain't me. I have nothing to do with that.
Especially when you see that the daddy is not stepping up and being there in their lives. You're in the home with them. I mean, how is that possible? As a grown-ass man, how could you turn it off like that?
Well,
he did say he didn't know how.
He said he didn't know how. Father or whatever. He felt some type of way when she was talking to him by himself with Gabe. Iyanla was talking to Gabe. He was like, I felt like
you talk about what she said. No cameras, but still got the mic.
Whoa, we heard everything. No cameras, but all.
Like, what kind of difference does that make?
If we can hear
media, everything you saying,
I don't need no camera.
I can visualize.
It's like radio with a baseball game. I know everything that's going on just because of how y'all talking. I hear the real.
I talked to Gabe. I told him no camera.
Just because you close the door.
I'm thinking that we gonna just hear her doing like a voiceover or whatever as they're having the conversation. Listening
it's just
to the conversation.
You didn't understand what they were saying. They had the caption underneath just so you wouldn't miss it, people. just so you can hear
I said, who they think they fooling?
They ain't fooling nobody.
But he was saying during their conversation, you were about to say, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Oh no, I was saying he was feeling some type of way, I was basically, he's still doing with the father, I'm just there as far as being with the mother.
Yeah, and but he also felt abused and like verbally and physically.
Oh, you talking about?
I'm talking about the mic session.
Oh, okay.
That's what he was saying during the mic session.
Yeah, he felt. I felt like I was back in. He went deep, I guess, and he said, I felt like when I was younger. I don't know. He said he was, he felt verbally abused and sometimes physically with Trina. On how she treated him, and I guess it reverted him back to how he was when he was growing up. He didn't really divulge any information as far
like
as
who was doing
the abusing. I don't know if it's his parents or friends or whoever, but he felt some type of way that I guess he kind of shied away from He said it was familiar.
Familiar, and
it was familiar, so it felt like home. I guess. Home, yeah, that's weird. That's the second. It's a few times that we seen Iyanla when the man says when they felt like home when they felt abused, and I guess it felt comfortable, for them.
To me, it makes sense. Like if you grow up in a household where your mama is like always fussing, and you believe that's just how women are. That's how life is. When you see a woman who's exhibiting the same behaviors as your mom, you're like, oh, that's how it is. I know what this is. So it's almost like a little bit of comfort, even though it's like toxic. You don't see that part of it because you're accustomed to it.
It ain't toxic, to him. It's
home.
This is what it is.
This is home.
And so. She was, of course, we go back to her and the young one, Caleb, and he's talking about all how he felt about Gabe and whatnot, and then she talked to Iyanla talked to Trina and Gabe about how Caleb was feeling. She like, do you know that he felt this type of way? And Trina was like, well, of course she didn't know. Mm-hmm. And he felt the way. He says, why didn't you know? Why aren't you engaged in your son or your son's feelings? And she was like, she like, Trina, you was chasing fame, and he was chasing ass. Mm-hmm. And so she like, who raised him?
Yeah. Iyanla even asked the boys, like, who raised you? Was there an au pair in the house? Somebody I don't know about?
That was fancy. I've heard of au pair.
Yeah.
But black folk, we just now getting a nanny.
Yeah,
it was babysitter for a minute. For a minute.
Most of them still don't say nanny.
We don't say nanny. We say babysitter. And she said, "Au pair." I'm like, that's new.
She done got fancy on.
I got my au pair. That seemed like money. Mm-hmm. I'm paying.
Well, but this is a celebrity family, so it will make sense.
You right. And so they go with I think she goes back with Iyanla, with Gabe just by themselves, and she like oh no, that's when they went off camera.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you went ahead here.
Yeah, I was just trying to get her somewhere. But after that conversation is when Iyanla brought Gabe to have a conversation with Trina to let her know, how he actually felt about the abuse and how Trina treated him is kind of the same way he treated Caleb. Yeah. She was trying to draw the parallelism. Mm-hmm.
I believe in once they got through, because it really wasn't that much as far as going with them two, and then
it really wasn't to me about them.
Yeah, it was about
I'm sure in Iyanla's mind, she's saying, y'all divorced. The same thing I keep saying.
Yeah, y'all divorced.
For 2 years. Y'all don't have to deal with each other. So if there's an issue, the fact that y'all don't have kids together, y'all can just go y'all separate ways and be happy. But the fact that they can't is something they're still holding on to something that they need to address, which is maybe the reason that they're here.
The man's been with the young men's, since
he was
2. 5 and 2.
So 17 years.
So, that does have an impression on a young man's mind. But
what you do. Maybe the young man. But I don't know if Gabe, if it wasn't for this opportunity to be on the show, if Gabe would even care. You spent a month in the backyard and didn't even let the young man know that you was there. So whether y'all had the tumultuous relationship
on their relationship.
Yeah, it may have been tumultuous or whatever, but as a grown man, you could have at least made an opportunity, or you just like, you know what? Hey, I'm back here. Y'all, they make it seem like it's some birds or something like that.
Yeah, Caleb did say, I didn't know nothing other, so I didn't know until after the fact.
Yeah, that he was back there.
What you think about that, might be? Because to me, I'm still harking on this is supposed to be a person that's supposed to be your father figure. I know if I was in a household since a young man has been 2 years old. Mm-hmm. I would consider somewhat him being my son, but see, and having some type of a way or I wouldn't say inspiration or some.
You want to have some type of influence in their life,
on his life, and give him some type of tools. It seemed like he just dismissed.
Was there for
everything
Trina.
About being a father.
He was there
to
for
this
Trina.
Young man,
and then the fact that he kept saying on this episode that was his blood father's job, and he was leaving it up to the blood father to do. Which leads, I want to know how often, the fact that you keep bringing this up, did the blood father come around You know,
they didn't say nothing. Oh,
but he keeps saying,
yeah, he keep on saying it.
So I'm thinking maybe he would show up, which would make Gabe believe that these are conversations you guys are having about being in relationships, about what to be, do as a man. These are conversations you're having with your father, so I ain't got to do nothing. All I got to do is sex your mama and whoever else I want to sex and play on this computer. And not raise no kids. I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for her. That's because you got a daddy.
Yeah, it seemed like I got in the wrong line. Because I didn't know. It seemed like he didn't know 2 kids came with. Like he was just ignorant.
When you said package deal, I thought she was talking about the package.
Yeah.
No, I know you talking about the kids.
I didn't know about them 2 boys.
I ain't signed up for this.
And I guess he felt some type of way,
but once you find out though, and you stay in it for 17 years,
it's once you find out. But
you got to take on that responsibility, bro. Why stay in it for so long?
What?
You can be familiar with the abuse or not, but you could also think of something else. Like I ain't finna sign up to be. Do
you think it's because of his upbringing?
It may have been, but I'm saying that still doesn't excuse him for not taking on the responsibility of the kids. To me,
you're right. I can't fault that. He should have did better, especially marrying the mother. He should have, took care of that responsibility and just not say, it was the other father's fault. Especially when the father ain't.
We know that's how he felt.
Obviously, the father was. I ain't gonna say wasn't shit, but he wasn't involved.
But see, that's what makes me question whether the father was even involved. The blood father was involved a little bit. The fact is, you keep banking on him to do the job of a father when you're right there. You're the one in the household. That didn't make any sense to me. But anyway.
We move on to just speaking with them to Trina and Gabe. Iyanla had them 2 together, and they expressed their feelings. Gabe says, I felt like how the son feels. How you treated me. I felt disrespected. I felt some type of way towards how you treated me. And she's like, I don't know how, I didn't know you felt that way,
right?
And she goes back to I'm sorry. It was basically for the forgiveness mode of the episode. And then then of course we had to get everybody culminate to everybody talking together and him telling the story about the son. Talking to the son and the son telling him about how he felt.
Caleb.
Yes, Caleb. Eric was just there. He was there for moral support.
Yeah, okay.
He was just there. I'm only here so I won't get fined. And she was like, "Do you think you ever can have repair this relationship or have a relationship?" Caleb was like, I see how it go, but I do forgive him. After Caleb said,
after Iyanla gave both of them the words to say. She's like, finish this sentence, and then gave them the entire sentence, gave them the paragraph in the book. It's like
she didn't let them finish that out.
They didn't have to finish.
Now Caleb, she let him talk.
Yeah.
But Gabe, she gave him
all the words.
Damn word. So I don't know.
She manipulated them.
You right. She did. She goes right at his ass. and so he said what she said.
Yeah. But it was still enough because she had the conversation with him. Yeah. It was still enough for her to give him the right words to try and attempt to repair this relationship.
I believe that if he could say the words, that would be. I'm hopeful that was the words he would say. She just put it in plain form in layman's terms of how he felt. Mm-hmm. And of course, Caleb, was okay.
He was
with it.
Receptive to it.
Yeah, the relationship's still shaky, but I accept what you're telling me. And we try to go on from there. And she was like, how about when it was just the father with Gabe
and Caleb.
She was like, how about y'all have a relationship
without y'all work on y'all thing without
the mama's input, because I think that'll have a damaging, influence on y'all relationship. Mm-hmm. And him having a father figure is an important part of his growth. Mm-hmm. And when I say his, I'm talking about Caleb.
Yeah.
And so I think they need that. Each other.
I agree.
I think it'll help Gabe in his growth, having a relationship with Caleb. And so they didn't give us no update on how they how they did after the taping, but it was It was all right. It was running the mill,
I think I'm still.
I'm letting them know. Goddamn it.
I think I'm still, pissed off at the fact that y'all been divorced for 2 years. We're back here, and y'all don't have to be. Mm-hmm. Y'all can go your separate ways, do your own thing, and if y'all paths cross again, then y'all can rekindle a friendship. Y'all can rekindle a relationship, especially with the son holding so much anger and resentment towards Gabe. I feel like they could have just took some time apart and maybe, like you said, like Iyanla said, with Caleb and Gabe repairing their relationship, if they want a relationship, repairing it outside of Trina. Because with her sharing all this different stuff with him and then Trina and Caleb being so open with each other, then he's going to feel some type. That's his mom, so he's going to care and be concerned about what she's going through, and the person that's putting her through those things.
Yeah, and that's what he said initially. Like, I feel the way she is now is because of the relationship she had with Gabe, and so it sounded like they were still in like a little
So, but Gabe
and Trina, like they were friends with benefits.
They went to, did she say Mexico or somewhere? They went on a cruise or something together.
Like, yes,
he's like, that was the last time we had sex.
God damn it!
I don't think they know what that means.
Because they still having somewhat of, because he was worried about the sex. That's what
that was when Iyanla was bringing up boundaries.
Yeah, he's like, mine is, we still having sex somewhat.
And but the way he said it is almost as if she's the one initiating. And he just like, okay, if that's what you want to do, he's going along with it.
I can believe it though. I can believe it.
I'm just based on this episode and the 1 hour of what we saw. It led me to believe that she's the one. He's receptive to whatever because he ain't got shit else to do. He can still do his own thing. This is probably the relationship he wanted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To begin with,
this is what this. I didn't know the kid.
She maybe hasn't. She can't move on.
That's how he did it.
She can't move on for whatever reason. Maybe she actually did love him while they were in their relationship. Yeah. And so she keeps going. She wants that old thing back. You never know.
But that old thing was, I think
that old thing was everybody else's thing too. Yeah. Sounds like.
So
But what else is she holding on to? As far as this guy is concerned.
I don't know. Iyanla, she pointed to the fact like she went towards the mother, Trina's mother.
Yeah,
She's like maybe from your mother's Evelyn.
Yeah.
She like how your mother had her relationship. Don't you think you learned bitterness?
Yeah, this is learned behavior from her mom. Yeah,
from your mother.
Trina didn't want to admit that.
She left.
Yeah, she like with tears in her eyes.
Yeah, you telling that real, but hold on.
Yeah,
I
didn't sign up. Let me call my mama and let her know we talking about your ass.
There's another line I didn't get in. I done switched the signs on.
I didn't sign up.
I didn't sign up for healing. I didn't want this mess.
She probably thought they were gonna talk about Gabe and his problem.
Yeah,
but somehow it turned.
She was the only one with tears. She was the only one with tears.
Gabe had a few tears a couple times. Oh yeah.
Oh, it seemed like he was so nonchalant with everything, But I guess that's his, his character or what. I don't know how he deals with pain. But you say he had some tears. I guess I don't remember. Yeah. But they didn't give us no update. Hopefully, Caleb said, he's willing to, try and somewhat have a,
You think that's gonna happen?
I think that's up to Gabe though. I think that's purely up to Gabe. If Gabe shows himself and just be there, I think
I still can't get past like why would he? They're not together. So what? This doesn't make.
But the man has been there since he was.
He has been.
This is the only father figure that's been there.
I feel like the conversation made me believe that he was concerned about their relationship.
Yeah.
But his actions didn't lead me to believe that he was concerned about their relationship. So outside of Trina calling him over for a booty call or to go out of town, which results in a booty call, then, and I may be totally wrong. But I'm just saying, this is just the vibe I was getting from this 1 hour of them having a conversation.
I think he was totally disinterested with
the kids.
With the kids, he was purely.
He showed it for 17 years.
Yeah, I think he was purely there for trying to be with Trina and do his thing.
And maybe her celebrity
Yeah, her celebrity status.
Because you know it got
especially
it got him
he's there
into a upper echelon of
booty. She can take. He said, "I like her. You know, I like to be taken care of. Or I wanted to be taken care of, and she's the one that did." Our Noel's job was only probably less than a week.
He said, that I needed 24 hours. That's a day. He only needed a day. End up staying for 4, and then move in.
That means you ain't got no place to stay if you move, unless you just. I
want to know how you get here.
Yeah.
What prompted the note? We talking about this too.
Why are you here? Why are we here? That's what I'm saying. That's the thesis of this whole show.
All the episodes of Iyanla. We talking about the one that was. We ain't got nothing going on. The most.
Why are we here?
That's our cue. That thing. Anyway,
I have nothing else to say. Might be.
No, sir.
Till next time.
Peace.